Episode 68, Ending a Difficult Relationship. Good evening, I'm Tomas Guevara, and this is the channel Rewriting Reality. Subscribe to this channel to be reminded of your power in who you are. In today's episode 68, we're going to address how to end a difficult relationship. But first, let's start with the hard questions. What do you want? Do you want to continue this relationship, or do you not want to continue this relationship? I'm not asking you what you think you should do, I ask you what you want. I understand that one or both people in a relationship may be afraid. That's very understandable, and one of the main reasons people stay together in relationships is because they're afraid. They are afraid to disconnect from their partner. They are afraid of the direction in which separation will take them. Women may be afraid that they won't be able to support themselves. They are both afraid that they won't be able to find another partner. They are afraid of being judged. They're afraid of a lot of different things. I'm speaking based on my own experiences, and what I would tell you is that what's important for you to know now is that staying in a relationship that you don't want to be in out of fear just prolongs the inevitable. Because if you're not satisfied, if you're not happy in a relationship, and if you find yourself in a situation where you keep thinking about different aspects of your partner, in what you want them to do differently or what you want them to do or not do, the relationship is definitely moving in a direction of not continuing. What's important for you and your family is that you can both be genuine with each other and recognize that you're not helping each other. The longer you prolong the inevitable and the situation, the more damage you will do to yourself and your children. But you are also doing tremendous damage to yourself, which makes it more difficult for you to move in the direction of a successful relationship with a new partner. It's not that you can't, of course, you can, but it's just harder, because you keep increasing the difficulty and you keep increasing the situation of pain and devaluing yourself by staying in a relationship you don't want to be in. I recently told one of my friends, a nice woman, who left her partner, that there is nothing to be ashamed of. Don't do that to yourself. There's no reason for you to express anything related to shame. I told her, you have moved in your direction because you thought what you were doing was right. And then it's a matter of recognizing that a lot of times what you think is right is just what you've been taught, and you know it, but that doesn't mean it's right. And beyond that, it doesn't matter anyway, because what's the right thing to do anyway? It's simply a matter of your guidelines and your direction. In that, what's right for you isn't necessarily right for someone else, and what's right for someone else isn't necessarily right for you. So, it's a matter of paying attention to yourself and recognizing that your greatest gift, and you're right, is choice. In that, you are directing yourself, therefore, you can choose what you want and what is comfortable and beneficial for you. And you can choose not to pursue what's uncomfortable and what's not beneficial to you. Therefore, there is no shame in moving in the direction of honoring yourself. The point is to realize that you're not happy and that you're not moving in the direction of your highest benefit. And then from that point, it still takes time before you can allow yourself to move in the direction of what is for your benefit and what makes you happy. The most important factor in all of this is that your health depends on your well-being. They move hand in hand. And so, if your health is important to you, which it should be, then it's a matter of recognizing that your health isn't going to be at its sweet spot if you're not happy. Because that's your part of well-being, and they go hand in hand. And in that, I would say it's very important. If you're not happy, remember relationships aren't one person. Therefore, regardless of whether the other person expresses that they want to continue in a relationship, they are participating in creating the situation where the other individual is not satisfied. It's never just one person who moves in the direction of dissolving a relationship. Both are usually involved, but both deny the situation, sometimes because of the involvement of the children, sometimes to save face with family and friends. One thing to remember is that your face reflects your mood, and if you're unhappy with someone else, your face will create wrinkles, and everyone will notice. My recommendation is to talk about how you feel and how your partner feels. I would say that he may disagree with the separation initially, because I thought about it too, although he may not. He could be genuine, and he could express the same thing you do. It took me many years to accept it. I'm simply saying that there's a chance that he'll initially disagree, but I'd say he'll also express it eventually because he is not satisfied either. I just want to say that it's important for yourselves, and it's important as parents that you set a healthy example. Consulting a therapist is expensive, and usually the direction of a therapist is to try to create a solution to avoid separation. And that, in general, does not yield to what the ideal is. Generally speaking, if people are at the point where they seek therapy for a relationship that is not going well, they may try for a while to change behaviors, but ultimately it will end up the same. It is simply a matter of, once again, prolonging the inevitable. The reason is that people don't change their behaviors with each other. They just don't. People change their behavior because something changes within them and causes something to become important to them. But this is one of the reasons why relationships don't continue. It's because what's important to one individual isn't important to the other. And it's not that that's bad or wrong, they're just differences. An individual may express that he is trying to do something important for himself because it is important to their partner. After all, they care about their partner, but it won't last, because it's not important to him, and in a very short time, he'll forget about it. Because people don't pay attention to what's not important to them. It's not that people aren't important to them, it's that different topics aren't important to them. And that's the piece that becomes the bone of contention, because people automatically move in the direction of thinking that the other individual must express themselves in a certain way if they love me. No, that's very, very wrong. An individual may care about another individual and may even love them, but that is not enough to change their behavior. I would say it's very understandable that it's scary not having the financial ability, for a while, to fully support yourself. And what I would say is that it's not unreasonable to engage in a realistic conversation with your partner and express to him that you need help, and that you'd need his financial support to help you, and that that's no different than what he is already doing. At the end of 2003, a good friend of mine was unhappy with his wife. One Saturday, after playing soccer, he explained the situation to me, and told me that they were both ready to end the relationship. But the problem was sharing their belongings, the car and the house. I explained to him what I had done a year before. Our situations were very similar. We had both been dating other women and our wives were busy dealing with our children. We had advanced in our careers, but they were stuck with our children. Therefore, I proposed that he give the house to his wife, just as I did. After 2 hours and a few beers, he accepted my recommendation. Today they both live a happy life with their new partners. 3 years ago, I met another friend, and he told me that he did the same thing, after a marriage of more than 30 years. In some cases, it's not really that the husband is taking care of anything different, except that they're going to be separated. The man's responsibility to offspring will remain for a while, legally called alimony in some countries. The two of you can discuss the topic about what you want to do and what is acceptable to both of you. And you're right that you can potentially move in a direction where you'll be much more self-reliant and much more expressive of your autonomy, shall we say. But over time, it can be easy for both of you. I would say it's simply a matter of recognizing that, for a while, it's not going to be much different financially than it already is. Instead of thinking of it in terms of difficult conversations, I encourage you to start thinking of it as important and beneficial conversations. Because this is important and it's definitely beneficial, and it's beneficial for everyone involved. So, it's about acknowledging that yes, it's about the two of you, but it's also about more than just the two of you. Don't just build relationships because they have a temporary attraction. You should set an example for your children that they are healthy and move in the direction of finding partners who are complements. They will find people who are truly a complement to them, and they will then create a successful and long-lasting relationship. It's not simply about disassociating yourself from a relationship that is not an add-on. It is also about moving in the direction of generating a relationship that is a complement. Another friend asked me, what if she's still in love with him? The answer is, she may be in love, but love is caring about other people, and if you're not making your partner happy, the best thing you can do is leave him. Remember that love is not romance, and romance can fade over time. In another episode, I'll explain the differences between romance and love. I hope this podcast helps all the women who are trying to be happy. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel.